Hello and welcome. Let's take a look at our top story this hour. Pakistan is in the middle of a perfect storm. The South Asian country is already in trouble with its economy in the doldrums, and now there are multitudes of crises which are pushing the nation to the brink. The most pressing is the threat from Tehreek-e-Taliban, which is the Pakistani Taliban. Now, while speaking to the Pakistan media, the country's Interior Minister, Rana Sanaullah, has said that there are 7,000 to 10,000 TTP fighters in the region, accompanied by 25,000 members of their families. He further added that the terrorists who had previously laid down arms have now secretly resumed activities. The Pakistan Interior Minister has blamed the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government and counter-terrorism department for the failure in countering the TTP terrorists. The rift between the PTI-ruled KPK region and the centre has been out in the open for more than one reason. The local governments of Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa rebuked coalition at the centre for withholding funds. The chief ministers of both Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa accused the federal government of stalling dispensation of funds, allegedly required to deal with the aftermath of the floods and for the implementation of policies pertaining to people. The people of Balochistan are also angry over Pakistan's continuous efforts to keep the China-Pakistan economic corridor in progress. The residents believe that authorities are exploiting the region's natural resources under the banner of CPEC. Now, work has been initiated on mega dams, oil and gas pipelines, and uranium and heavy metal extraction. This has come at a cost to local livelihood and environmental sustainability. According to an International Forum for Rights and Security report, Chinese mega projects are showing an adverse impact on the local climate. This has led to uncontrollable pollution and irreversible depletion of aquatic ecosystems. Moving on to Balochistan's province coast city, Gwadar, where Section 144 has been imposed to restrict gathering of crowds. The locals here were protesting against illegal fishing. The agitation turned violent, and clashes between locals and the police resulted in the killing of police personnel. Now, the protesters demand the reduction in checkposts, easier border trade, and a total end to deep-sea fish trawling in the sea next to Gwadar. According to reports, Gwadar is witnessing a complete shutdown. The authorities have suspended cellular networks and internet services to control the situation. Sindh province too has reported protests over the killing of the 40-year-old Hindu woman Dayabal. The widow was brutally murdered and her body was found in a bad state. Her head was separated from the body and the murderers had removed flesh from the whole head. The brutal murder has sparked outrage among the citizens. The unrest did not spare Sindh's capital, Karachi. As well, the Joint Groups Committee, which is a joint platform of non-teaching staffers and faculty members of the University of Karachi, protested against the non-payment of salaries. Now, for more on this, we're being joined by Amir Shaheen, who is a senior journalist. Now, Amir, Pakistan is facing an increasing threat from the Tehreek-e-Taliban, and the Interior Minister is blaming the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government for this. Help us understand his comments here.
His comments, we can see, are purely political. Although the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf government in KPK is not absolved of their responsibility for the lack of the ability to deal with the terror threat. Imran Khan's government, Imran Khan, widely known as Taliban Khan, there is a sense of truth into what the Interior Minister of Pakistan, Rana Sanaullah, is saying. However, blaming it just on the provincial government and not on the real reasons, including policy and the lack of punishment to renowned terrorists operating within Pakistan, is the prime reason. And also the fact that peace has been tried to be negotiated with people who have constantly been attacking Pakistan. A policy is more to be blamed than just the provincial government of Imran Khan, although Imran Khan is not absolved of this blame. Now, why is Rana Sanaullah, the interior minister, blaming Imran Khan's provincial government? Because the real reasons cannot be talked about, and because of political and point scoring, that's what they're doing. So the real reasons cannot be talked about.
Right, Amir, and there seems to be a rift between the centre and the regional governments of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan. This over the centre withholding funds from those two regions. Take us through what's happening there.
Obviously, for political reasons, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, Imran Khan's political party, and the PMLN, originally Nawaz Sharif's political party, his younger brother Shehbaz Sharif being the prime minister in the center, they are not getting along. When it comes to Balochistan, the situation in Gwadar is to be blamed. I am sure we'll talk about Gwadar in a bit. But the real urgency of the situation is that the provincial government of Balochistan is trying to sort out and provide for the demands of the people of Gwadar. However, most of their demands pertains to the federal government. And that is why the government of Balochistan is talking about how it is not within their powers to meet all the demands of people in Gwadar, whereas the federal government also has an inability, because in order to meet those demands of people of Gwadar, which is in Balochistan, they have to take actions that will create more turmoil and more economic issues for Pakistan, which is already failing to, for example, provide adequate rationing, food ration to areas of Pakistan as well. So in order to meet the demands and stop all the protests going on within the country, especially Gwadar and other areas of Gwadar district, the government has to take steps that include spending more money or upsetting China, which is economically like the worst thing that Pakistan can do right now. So if we were ever looking for a perfect definition of a catch-22 situation, this would be it. If demands are not met, more protests, more shutter down. A policeman has been killed already. 2 months of 144 section. 144 section means that more than 5 people cannot gather at one place. Has been imposed for for 2 months now, and starting from now for the next 2 months. So if the demands are not met, these conditions are going to get worse, bad for economy, which is already suffering. And if these demands are met, then of course it would mean upsetting China and spending more money on the people in terms of providing them food and other facilities. So it's a catch-22 situation where there's one option which is bad and another option which is bad, both options being impossible. Pakistan is not being able to provide electricity to most of the areas. So we're not really sure if the electricity outages in Gwadar, where the protests have been going on for months now, more than 2 months, we're not sure if the electricity is cut down or there is this general electricity shortfall throughout the country. So the internet facilities, obviously, if the electricity is not being provided for a long time, they also suffer. So we're not really sure how much of this disconnection and lack of facilities is being deliberately given, and how much of this lack of facilities of internet, mobile network, and electricity is because Pakistan is finding it very difficult to keep up with the demands of the people, considering the economic turmoil that we're facing these days.
Absolutely. Amir, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for being with us on this broadcast and all your insights there. WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.